am ready.
Do you people like my new hairstyle?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yes. That's right, infidels. The bomb's bursting in air. I do declare it's Monday, 7/7, but not your lucky day, because you're in the locker room and you've got to scrub the bathroom, infidels. All the spray tan, all of the used tape, all of the icy hot. That's right. You're going to clean it all up because the veterans of the locker room have arrived and we're taking all the good spots. Here, Hamid Media Group, the Monday Locker Room. YOLO! Oh, what's good, man? What is good? Glad to be back in the studio on a Monday here. Hopefully you guys had a great weenie roast. I know there was 70 and a half weenies sucked down, and that was before the competition even started. Yeah, man, it was a good time and beautiful weather here in upstate New York, like not blazing hot and a nice cool breeze. And it was record-breaking day on July 3rd at Ravens Joint. I just could not believe it. My staff and my business partners doing such a great job, and can't wait to see what the rest of the summer holds. And all the feedback's been positive. And thank you guys for supporting us with those 5-star reviews on Google for Ravens Joint. That helps out so much in the SEO. But glad to be back in the SEO in the studio with who you know. It's R to the B to the V, Mr. 4th of July himself. From the racetrack to the hot dog eating competition, he's been doing it all with RBV Eats, man. Good to see you, buddy.
Great to be back here, Ben. As you said, man, a hot weekend here for the 4th, a hectic holiday weekend. But hey, man, what better way to unwind and cool down than not just one round of HMG? You guys are getting a double dose today, double shots for you served up. The vet, Jimmy T, and a run-in from Ben there on the wreckage. They just wrapped up a great show. So if you haven't caught that, go back, give it a listen here when we're done. But I'm ready to go. This is the best way to get the week going. The Monday locker room, Ben. As you said, 70 and a half dogs for the return of the throat goat, the foodie icon, Joey Jaws Chestnut making a return. Hey, nothing to pat an eye at. The lady on the female side, 33 dogs, man. That's damn impressive. 10
well,
minutes.
I mean, those aren't Bonnie Blue numbers, but yeah, that's good. You know, 33.
Well, Bonnie Blue, Evolution PLEs. I mean, they're not that impressive, but representing there for the ladies. Man. It was a good time with Jimmy T. We had a lot of fun. Well over 300 watch-alongs with it, man. So I appreciate that from everybody.
That's excellent, man. Yeah, a good time. And I know John Hartnett was excited. He won his bet on it. So shout out to Johnny H. And yeah, man, that's a good tradition here at HMG. I'm glad you are the chairman of the board when it comes to that stuff, man. Good stuff all around. I saw the dude drink a fucking gallon of lemonade, bro. My chest just started hurting watching that, thinking of the acid reflux of that much lemonade pounding down.
Big old Haas SOB, man. And this is what's like crazy about that, because I was thinking like, all right, what could I maybe do? Like, what could I do in an eating competition? And I could throw some down, like Gatorades, man, water. I can chug. I don't know if it goes back to the drinking days, man. I could put it down, but this SOB did a whole gallon in 21 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys can go back and find that footage, I think I actually have it on my Facebook page where I shared it over there for a pop of the day. But there's another big old SOB gentleman 2 spots down from him that couldn't hold it down. So immediately it's in reverse mode. So there is.
Yeah,
it's like
the old gusher.
It's like a Gallagher show, man. Lemonade is just squirting out everywhere. I don't know, man. Hey.
Dude, and that burns too. That's straight, acid, really, right? Citric acid, just yeah. But yeah, that's really what the competition is. Like, I always flash back to the scene from Stand By Me when he's telling the story around the campfire of fucking the dude who did the castor oil and ate the blueberry pies in the pie contest and puked, and everyone starts puking on each other. And the ladies' auxiliary puked on the gentleman's lodge of the Third Order of the Elks. It's like, that's fucking great. A big bar for Ramlin, then all the kids pop and go get molested by Hollywood execs afterwards. It's a good movie. You guys should check it out. Stand by me.
I'm gonna get just a hat tip to all those eating competitors, man. Those gladiators of gluttony, throwing down for everybody. It was a fun watch along, man. I'm glad to hear about the success for you guys there on July 3rd, record day, blazing for the USA.
Yeah,
so they were ready to party that weekend, huh?
There's a lot of lake community life around here, Onondaga Lake, Oneida Lake, and we're at the foothills of the Adirondacks, so the people make their way through. And our shop's on pretty much Route 31 and 481, a pretty big highway crossroad in New York, right in Syracuse, whether you're coming from east or west or the south to gain access. So a lot of the heirloom drinks are flying off the shelves, and we know they would for summer. They're just great and convenient, especially for people who want to stop drinking alcohol and I guess people say California sober. I mean, cannabis has so many positive uses. So those have been going well. And Heirloom is a brand, the number one selling brand in New York, really. But here in Syracuse, they were Beacon Skiff, and I think founded in 1911 because they have apple orchards. They're apple people. And they also came out with 1911 hard cider. You might see that in your grocery store nationally. And Heirloom is their brand for cannabis. And they have Willy Wonka factory on the front to make gummies. They have the entire Laverne and Shirley brewery set up. And then they have the Breaking Bad lab in back to make to process all the cannabis. So that was the first time I ever saw a 500-pound bag of weed, and they had 7 of them back there, bro. Like 500 pounds of weed. Like, it's crazy. They're waiting for like a leprechaun to jump out. But it was super impressive.
Get a promotion spot with them in Hornswoggle to come up there to Raymond.
Yeah, you should, bro. So those sold very, very well, but everything is selling well. And we're kind of pivoting in our business structure of, I do have a couple multi-state operators, but they seem to be more trouble than they're worth. Some of them that we've dealt with or seen others have to deal with. Their product keeps getting pulled because they're trying to slide one past the state and be like, oh, they got relabeled, but everything needs to be New York State produced. So we're working with a lot more micro growers, farm to table, specialty small batch, and that really helps to support the true New York cannabis industry. From small mom and pop growers. They don't get as much canopy space, I guess. I think maybe 10,000 feet to grow their crops. So we've sourced some of the newest and best up and comers, and I'm excited to take that further and build those partnerships and relationships. You know us, we get our buzz off of business, and when we close a deal and we do good business, we feel really great about what we're doing. So excited for the rest of the summer to be working on that for the fall crops is going to be super interesting and fun.
Well, it's interesting. You'd mentioned the beverages and individuals potentially, looking to cut the alcohol, looking for, something that's still that feel good feeling there when you're relaxing, enjoying the holidays there. How does that work with that licensing? Like, obviously you guys are permitted to do those. Can like an average corner bodega sell those?
No.
Can a bar sell those yet?
But
a restaurant? Or is there going to be a specialty
dose.
license for that?
There is a microdose that it's like 1/30th. There is THC in it, but you have to drink 30 to get equal to 1 can, 10 milligram can that you would buy from my place. And those are being sold in
like
gas stations, like the it's CBD equality, like what you could buy there. So you're really not going to catch a buzz, but you will feel maybe a little bit like, oh, my shoulder doesn't hurt as much, So, and they're great drinks, but no, that if you're talking about a true THC drink, 5 milligram to 10 milligram, you can only get those at recreational and medical I don't even know if medical has drinks, but recreational dispensaries at this time. And, they have a huge line of products from vapes, and they produce other people's stuff too. So Heirloom's a great brand to work with, and I'm glad to work with them locally. Absolutely.
It seems to me if I've got a bar business, I am going to be pushing. I want to get on the verge of that to offer that as an option for my beverages. Especially
Yeah,
with so
I
many
mean,
people making that move.
that's an interesting part of what is going on. So it comes down to, could bars, or let's just say it's not even a bar, it's a
You know,
a wedding venue, right?
okay,
Like if
like a
you want to
reception
have,
hall or something,
yeah,
catering.
and you want to have cannabis infused drinks, can they buy them at retail cost because it's like a bought wedding? You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like they're charged, say it's not open bar where they're charging people for it. And then you do cannabis infused drinks and serve them. They're not making their money off it. It was already included in the price. So it's not like they're a true retailer of it where they're paying wholesale to then go to retail. You can just put the retail cost on the bartenders and things along those lines, right? For the town. So it's a ever-changing gray area, and there's things that need to be addressed before we get to those types of breakdowns. But I absolutely would love to be able to do that type of thing. Or what is a restaurant able to do where they have two menus for breakfast, and one is infused with maple syrup from High Peaks that has 20 milligrams in it. Now they're serving, but did they buy a wholesale or retail, I guess, is the argument of where it needs to go. So like I say, these are strange and good problems to have, to be able to address, to have legal cannabis after
There's
80
these entire
years.
markets out there for it. It's like you said. I mean, what if I'm a conglomerate, like just comes to my mind, like an Applebee's or Fridays, which I know they're pretty much going away, but something along those lines. But even like you had mentioned, man, you guys could be in a catering business within a year or two from now.
Sure. I have people who come in who are getting married and don't want that. They want to, or else they want like to have a bud bar at their wedding. You know what I mean? They have more smoker friends. So there's like another license that was supposedly being developed to be a farmer's pop-up license, farmer's market pop-up license, and it might do that. But everything is always not fast moving when it comes to bureaucracy and government, because in a lot of times they're trying to avoid lawsuits, because what might work for 80%, the 20% are going to be like, well, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So it's a strange balance. So things get caught in limbo for a while. But that's fine. We can work on our business and be creative on that. But there is opportunity for expansion in the market of these interesting cannabis products, man.
That's going to be interesting because from state to state, it's so different to see which states are kind of at the forefront, that kind of setting the trend for where this is going to evolve, where it's allowed, and how widespread it becomes.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And will the federal law change, and then I can get weed from California, just like you can buy wines? Because right now it'd be like I just have to source New York wines. You know,
where's the feeling at that, say in New York, for that? Because obviously, I mean, it's going to open up a wider competition, help pricing like that when you have a wider range to pull from. But it also protects the individuals, the growers, the providers in state when you're dealing with it just from state to state.
I'm sorry. Could you?
Would you like, for you guys? Do you prefer limiting it to, okay, these are New York laws, we're using New York providers taking care of each other, or would you like to have that broad umbrella where you can go, hey, there is somebody in Ohio, California?
Well, it'll be an interesting day when that comes, right? Because you have to federalize it to be able to do that, as opposed to who's the legal ones that are in.
Right.
I guess maybe they could federalize it on the ones that are state by state, and then we could. But the way the New York program is structured now, it has to be from seed to sale, grown in state, processed in state, and that way. But so say a brand like Rove or Dank. These are big brands. These are out-of-state, multi-state operators who have a following that I have them on my shelf. They're like a Coke or Pepsi, and their stuff smashes. It's super strong. Their weed is super strong. Their vapes are super strong, and people want them by name. What they do, allegedly, in the beginning, I don't think they did this, but now they do. They have a company like Heirloom produce their shit here in New York. They buy their crop, it's produced, and then they put it on the Rove brand, and it meets their standards and all what it needs to for their product line. But in the beginning, they were bringing in shit from Oklahoma, Vegas, restamping it and putting it on the shelves. And if they got caught, well, that's $100,000 fine. Where Rove goes, oh, I'm sorry, we'll pull it. They've already made $3 million on what they fucking brought in. So, like the loss, profit loss, it's all figured in. I'm going to keep them on my shelves. They're good products. People love them and they know my name. But there's a lot of other ones that we probably won't ever work with, just because it helps to make my shop different. To not like, there's some companies that have 15 brands underneath them, like this company HPI, another big cannabis conglomerate. And if you came into my shop, you'd like, oh, they have 15 brands, but it's all coming from one distributor. So that's a way that company can kind of take over your store and have 25% in your store. And they're competing against their own brands, but it's the illusion of choice. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I want best price, best cannabis. Let's make your dreams come true. I have price points for my customers who want the highest level craft stuff, to the working man $6 joint. I just got done fucking doing your garbage route. You know what I mean? So, but I want those to come from New York so everybody can really come up together. So if everyone has a good experience buying, when you hear, oh, that was grown right 20 miles down the road, you know what I mean, at High Peaks, they're like, oh, I love to support local. When you can tie a good emotion to a purchase, people, they're going to come back for that buzz, that dopamine hit. When you come to Ravens Joint, you get that, not just with the weed, not with just with the customer service, which we excel at. Plus you get it with the local farm to table and the pet theme of what Ravens Joint is. So we hit them with 4 or 5 shots
connected all those dots for
dude.
That community connection and that feel good moment.
And that is my marketing experience and Josh's 2CW promoter, creating a community and a place that is our place and that we feel special about. Like, that's just kind of what is the best benefit of our partnership. And my partner Jason is the meticulous fucking, the paperwork is done because we're carnies and it can get out of hand. Jason is the fucking anchor man, and like, it just works, and I'm thankful for all that, bro.
That is awesome, man. Congratulations. Those numbers continue to climb. Every time we sit down, man, it's more good news, but I know it's the grind too, man.
Yeah, there's going to be fucking barricades and competitors and whatnot, but I can only control what's in my, realm, dude. Like, I can't worry about other people's shit and getting caught up in locker room stuff. We have plenty of options to expand ourselves and grow our base. Let me take my energy and positivity and creativity and focus it on that, because it's reaping, real rewards, as opposed to I'm just trying to go to battle to fucking go, I won. Yeah, good, dude. I got enough to battle myself, Well,
Ben, you're talking about finding success with guys that you came up with and creating that culture. Just an hour or so ago, you were singing some high praises for some guys that you came up with that absolutely stole the wrestling show this past weekend on Collision. That is the Outrunners.
Yeah, I mean, stealing the show is one thing. Like, that's a great feeling, and I'm glad to be able to, like, oh, you guys stole it tonight. You had a great match. This match with the Outrunners and FTR will go down in history to be studied at wrestling schools. They should be watching this at NXT. They should be watching it at every WWE ID, at OVW, every Booker T school to Dudley school, whoever, shout out to the Team Death Proof Dojo, my man Silvio. He probably wrestled Shiloh more than anybody in both of their careers, possibly, to be honest with you. So I'm just so proud of them. I mean, definitely I'll recap of what I can. I kind of went into detail with the Vet and Jimmy T on Wreckage. I don't want to you only got to watch the Monday Locker Room. Dude, the Vet and Jimmy T are doing a great job on Wreckage. And I wanted to jump on there because Vet is a tag team specialist. Like, I know how his mind works because we would work him in practice, and it's the same type of thing. And he always would have great ideas on the smallest tag team wrestling things, bro, whether it was from the entrance or how we're going to do a false tag. So he's going to go back and watch it again. And I'm excited to hear his detailed breakdown, but I was asked by Truth Magnum, I call him Shiloh, to watch this match. And he didn't really give me anything more than that. And I'm happy to watch any of my Good Brothers matches and give him a breakdown. There's nothing for me to break down except go unbelievable. The pinnacle of what true pure wrestling should be at a tag team level, and to see it in AEW after hiring a lot of indie guys who are successful. I'm not just going, they're indie guys. I'm an indie guy. But but to have true Rip Rogers training, OVW training, trick that is from Roddy Piper and the Macho Man. That's who Rip and Adrian Street and others learn from. Like these are what's being carried on. And to see that out there, even Shiloh does the Macho Man. Not a lot of people think of Macho Man with this. The head scissors where he points up to the sky and head scissors the guy over. He hits 2 of those out of the gate in the Shine. And when I say Macho Man, fucking sure it influences Shiloh or Truth Magnum, but that is like a tip of the hat to Rip to Macho Man, bro. Like that's where we come from, but the fans don't know that.
And
but
you also have with those guys as well, not because you're out there, Ben, but those guys play, do such a great with the retro, the nostalgia act with the Outrunners. It's it's like the Mega Runners because they got that Mega Powers act down to a T.
It's 1987 to 1997. Those guys, the work can handle anything if we set the premise up. When they make their entrance, much like how Tony Storm, when he laid out the black and white stuff that they took him 3 more months to get, they're getting it. Maybe not out of the gate here, but now it's like the tracking of a VCR filter when they come out and stuff. It's the small details. And I know the Outrunners obviously know this. And they can embody any timeline that you want. But the reality is it's that blue and pink. It's that Dixie Cup look of 1990, 91. Mom jeans. But it's some of the fucking big hair. But it's still got some of the Magnum PI in it. It's still got, some 1986 level shit. And it can go to any timeline. And I don't want to stooge off my idea because I'm passionate about creative, but if I say it out loud here, it's just gonna.
I'm saying don't keep that with it, so you guys can talk about that. But here's one of the points I had with it. I wanted to really ask about is
sorry, I just want to say right now we are in a 1990s nostalgia time in everything, whether it's the fashion or the whatever. Right now it's 1991 to 93. That's what everyone is biting from. Even Tommy Hilfiger is coming back. 95 to 98 was the fucking high water mark of human civilization. Are we 4 years away from recanting what that is? Right now we're like the 80s brat pack that's starting to become 90s kids, but even they weren't the true Gen X to me, even though they are by numbers. The true thought process and equality of human kind and nature came for those that graduated about 93 to 98 from high school, and we're about to relive those times.
I made the cut. I'm in, baby. I was on the back end of that, a little bit of the disappointment there, and I didn't get to see all of Collision. I watched some of the highlights there, so if somebody, Jack, can correct me if I'm wrong there, but on Dynamite, I enjoyed the show, enjoyed AEW this week as they get ready for their biggest stage here domestically, the big stadium show coming up, a big week for them. But I felt like that, as we talked about last week, the missed opportunities to show the Outrunners. Swerve was also there, and Jay was there. Nothing that recapped them in all those big spots with NASCAR that they had.
Yeah, that is not good.
That's where I felt let down.
They didn't show all those, but they did show Swerve. They highlighted Swerve.
Okay. So you're getting a little bit, but as we talked about last week, I mean, that could have been a big focal point. Hey, look, we're getting out there. They're recognizing us.
As good as this match was,
you actually laid this out last week about that.
They should have drove in on a fucking NASCAR.
Yeah, have one of the bad boy drivers come out with FTR. Have one of the the local favorites.
We can get there. We can go back to that. Like, it's not like I don't feel like we missed that bus. that opportunity's there, and this match might open the doors to bigger features and to keep running it back and heightening, exploring. Then let's take that bad boy car thing and book that 3 months from now, or and then we can maybe even revisit it when Daytona happens.
You know what I mean? You know what? I'd really love to do something like that. Why not on one of those pre-shows? Let's bring a ring. Let's have it there.
Oh, you should. Those are huge weekends. You should have a whole show there on the night before.
But highlight it with those guys ready to hook up there, and then replay that on your programming.
Yeah.
But do it on their pre-show. Show, hey, we're going to cut to this. We got a wrestling match here on the that ties in perfect. Racing and wrestling. Don't get any more
Tony Khan
gray, white, blue, blue collar net.
They should have their own whole car by that time. You know what I mean? The car should be same as Outrunners colors, all that kind of shit, dude. Yeah, the opportunity is absolutely there, and Tony's got the money and connections to make that happen. So I'm down for all that. But they were buddies and tag team trainers in a funny throwback way. And then the heat turned, and now they're working each other. We have heels and babies, and it's getting over just fine. I break down this match fairly, for a while on Wreckage as I ran my mouth because I was excited about it. But there's just so much of OVW. All right, we're training this today. We're training how to do the false tie. We're training how to do the double down. We're training how to fucking make a comeback and shut them down. It was all there. The heat on the outside and how to take out Turbo Floyd and get heat on Truth Magnum. He gets color in the middle of the match. The shots were there, which to me, if we're not having production meetings before, means those guys went and talked to the cameramen and said, I'm going to be here and I want this shot, because it was all there. Things that the viewer at home is being impacted by, but they don't really understand it if you haven't been in Guerrilla. Cut the camera to, go, here he comes, get ready to switch to the corner. All right, get up on the corner. Not like, you don't understand wrestling at that level. And we love to talk about it to you guys like that. But until you're in the trenches and you forget to breathe for 3 minutes because you're waiting to get a visual of something of how it's supposed to look as you're directing on the fly, like that's what's going on in all of their minds, not just Turbo and Truth's minds, all their minds, how to be on there. And it all came together. And when the premise is what could go wrong now, nothing went wrong now. And it was a beautiful 20-minute symphony. They worked 2 heats. They took out and the tag partner, they cut the ring off. Even the way Dax goes by him on this one, doesn't duck one knee drag, cuts off the ring to come back and get him, I think with a double leg maybe. But it's just like, no, you're not getting there for the tag. All the small things. The timing was so on. It wasn't slow. It wasn't fast. It had a lot of gear shifts and really took you on a complete ride of empathy. And the comebacks were done right and then cut off. Guys were selling each other's meat chop and chops to be like the chop sells the punch. And that means chop me hard and I'll fucking sell it. And I can take that amount of pain and I'm going to sell. So when you punch me, and it's phony and you barely touch me, I'll sell that the same way. But they believe it because the chop sells the punch, because you couldn't sit there in the pocket and take punches all day long. These are simple but high level things that fans don't hear any place but HMG.
Well, it's not the things that that you are teaching to us, preaching on air, those fundamentals. But I mean, it feels good for you guys, for the likes of yourself, for Vet, for Beast, for Sylv, for those guys that learned it that way, that spent all those time, and then you see your brothers going out there and doing it on a stage like AEW.
Yeah,
that maybe the whole world doesn't understand everything that you're breaking it down, but they are starting to absorb it. Like, hey, this is what good wrestling should be.
It's beyond what good wrestling is. that match should be studied, emulated, and then those guys should run that program for a year and heighten and explore different finishes, different cutoffs, but the structure is the same. You shine your baby, you cut them off. You get the tag over, You get the stronger partner over. Then the heels cheat on the outside because they know they can't outpower the guy. Turbo Floyd stays down. They keep coming back to fuck him over with the steps in his knee. He can't get up. He starts to get up. They pull him back down, and they get back on Truth, more heat, and they just keep tagging in and out. Finally, he gets back up. They cut the ring off, and they shut it down again. And it's just, you want it, and they take it away. You want it, and they take it away. To the point where you're behind Truth Magnum, and he's gone through all this heat, and he's still got the harder firing up. Or just when it's about to be the end of Truth Magnum, Turbo jumps in to make the save. And they're all done at the right time until we fire up again and we get going as a tag team, because we can't just have Turbo on the outside the whole time. He gets that comeback, and they finally get the hot tag. They fire up, get cut off again, only to fire up again and get 3 big things on them. Wow, wow, wow. The Outrunners could do it right here. 1, 2, fuck you, no. Fuck the other guy off. The heels come in, cheat, boom, hit something, and they win. Now, I don't know if the way I'm describing it right there, it's a very wrestling, whoa, it might not make for good podcast content, but in my mind, this is how we do everything. Whether it's at the end and the babies move and the heels fucking take themselves out, or or vice versa. There's so many different ways to book the finish, but these guys had it and then cut each other off from it. And it just takes you like a tennis match back and forth. Oh, who's going to do it? And then the heels go over. Beautiful. This match was on another level, and heels going over make you want the Outrunners to still beat them. That's how you book the next time, because people will want that match again. I just hope they keep it simple and they can still do cage matches. I don't want to see garbage cans and all this shit. These guys' flavor is old school. Baskin Robbins 31 flavors, theirs is old school flavor. Stick to it. So even if we have to do something, a chain match, it's about one shot with the chain at the right time, something along those lines. They can revisit all that Smoky Mountain, USWA, whatever old school they want to emulate. And now the Outrunners are the missing piece to what FTR always needed and wanted to be. They never could be working indie tag teams and shit like that. They had to go too fast, get their stuff in. Now we can finally do it. We can finally be the Hart Foundation versus whoever. We can finally be Texas, whatever we want to do, take from there. It was much like me with Dick Justice. Sure, Ben Hameen is a terrorist, can get heat and piss people off. But until I've got Police Academy on my tail, now I'm in a movie, and the movie is ongoing until we finally pay it off, or we never pay it off. And this is that for them.
It was good stuff. Go watch the match. Go back, listen to Wreckage for a complete breakdown conversation with the vet on that thing. Ben, another, we talked about.
I didn't sound too stupid with that. Now he hits this.
That's good. I guess
that's a whole conversation to wrestlers. They can understand that.
I was going to say, and I guess for those wondering what I was doing, I was trying to open a jar. That's what I was doing off to the side of the camera here.
You got to call Jargo.
Go call Jargo, yeah. I actually need him because I could not get the thing open. So, yeah, it was a total fail. But we laid out the NASCAR stuff last week. Hopefully that still could be in the plans. Great crossover for him. But I also do want to call you on this one, Ben, because maybe somebody heard you. Because you took the comic book fans to task last week. You called them all a bunch of nerds. What did pro wrestling do? They heard you because Superman won in strong this past week. Superman was all over, sponsoring WWE and AEW.
Yeah.
I thought, I particularly wanted to ask you about the SmackDown side of this thing. They had the Superman theme, obviously, this past Friday. 4th of July, almost no recognition of the country's birthday where they could have used those two vehicles to make a fun show instead of just phoning it in with another crappy holiday show, because the wrestling was absolute garbage.
Yeah, the structure of SmackDown was infuriating. With 5 tag segments, we're going to rip the shit out of it tomorrow.
I figure you guys are going to see, but for me, I want to ask you more about
that's what went on me is I'm so sickened by that WWE. I'm not sickened. I don't care. It's fucking wrestling. I'm so like, I don't give a fuck about the show because of the structure and the lackluster effort and booking 5 tag matches. Then 3 days later, I can watch 1 tag match and fucking be more pumped about wrestling than I've been in 10 years. And I wasn't even in the fucking match, you know? So, and by the way, X-Men absolutely does suck. Like it's fucking goofy. Like I'm supposed to care about this fucking weird dude who takes kids and puts them in a fucking school to groom them, and then the characters, he does something with his eyes. She can turn into a feather girl who can turn into anybody. He's got knife hands and can't be shot.
That's wrestling.
Like I gotta remember
girls.
I gotta remember everybody's stupid. Well, then if you put his superpower with theirs, they'd be who's the better dude. I fucking hate it all. The actors are not good acting. The script writing is not good. It's all just to make another movie. It's not a complete thought ever. But then they introduce the special plane. Then that plane can go. Shut the fuck up. It's all stupid. None of those characters will last the test of time. They're a trivia question night. Who played his real name is Logan, and he has the X Factor. Oh, it's Wolverine. I think it's on your trivia night. I don't care. X-Men is fucking goofy. All those. I don't like Spider-Man either, to be honest with you. I feel like I could piss pound Spider-Man any day of the week that I wanted to, bro. Like none of that shit resonates with me. At least Superman's an alien and Batman's a guy who has mommy and daddy issues, and he's got a fucking nemesis that brings out what it is in him. X-Men sucks. Fantastic.
Well, to be fair, those mommy and daddy issues were that they were murdered.
Yeah, and that's an inciting incident that you can see the character go to. I'm supposed to be like, well, there's genetic mutations in some people, and they're all going to have a specialty thing. I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. And it's all for cosplay nerds to be able to have something to do and for them to make money off of it. None of it deals with a real storyline that goes back in time. I guess maybe to Greek gods that would have had specific powers, but it's all goofy. X-Men sucks. And then when you're supposed to be a hero yourself, you're on TV, you're building your own brand, and you're putting over X-Men. Did X-Men pay Jade Cargill? Or is this Jade Cargill's fucking representative going, if you wear that out there, then we'll send that so you could be Storm in the next movie? Well, that means Jade Cargill doesn't care about fucking wrestling and just wants to go be in Hollywood. So go do that then. And don't disrespect what it is. But just because she wore an X-Man or fucking whoever, like that doesn't impress me.
I did think, they're obviously getting major bucks. Warner Brothers Discovery, Max, and Stevie's got a great clip up on this thing talking about it. They are going all in. They are investing a lot inside of this company with this DC reboot, and that could mean a lot of things for AEW. But on the WWE side of this thing, if you're going to do it, have some fun with it. I thought a major missed opportunity. You've got him on staff. He's an agent, I believe. Why didn't we have Hurricane, the superhero in that, or the reporter trying to get the scoop up?
Yeah.
Instead of doing
Clark
something fun with it, Clark Kent couldn't be here, but the Bugle sent Shane Helms, and then we had the Hurricane show up a little bit later on in the superhero gimmick. Something fun along those lines. Also, only a 30-second mention of the 4th of July. They had the flag graphics going, get out of here. What's WWE's reasoning now that, is it because they're global? Is it the new company? But they have kind of just moved away from acknowledging any domestic like holiday celebrations. We didn't get anything during Black History Month, nothing during Pride Month, nothing for 4th of July. And they used to be so heavily rely on those.
Keep going. You're a marketing master. Why? Why is that?
To me, it bothers me a little bit. Are they just so worried about offending their new Saudi overlords? Is it just because of the globalization? They don't want to make other people feel left out. But I'm going to do it around the world. When you're in Europe, celebrate where you're at. Let us know about that area. When you're getting ready to go to Perth, let us know about the Australian culture. They sure as hell beat us over the head with that fucking Saudi moving forward. They're good people now,
Yeah.
but the rest of us are evil. That we can't have a celebration.
I love you, Rick. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you ever disappoint me. You don't disappoint, but you disappoint me, Rick. I need you to be a CEO at a marketing fucking firm that deals with only Fortune 500 and 1,000 clients.
From a wrestling standpoint, what I would have looked at, I talked about this on the Smack Attack, is you go into this 4th of July and it gives you a great opportunity here to use some of your villains to play into what we used to love. Drew McIntyre could have come out and talked about how what are we celebrating on the 4th of July? How some people couldn't cut it in Europe. You know, where he came up and they had to come over here and steal land, steal opportunity.
I'm going to stop you.
Go ahead.
I need you to be a marketing executive. Right. You and I are in the boardroom with 5 others. The numbers just came in. Jaguars down 97.5% in sales after we just did the gayest marketing campaign to play into Pride, DEI, and every other thing that they sold us on for the green scores. That we all came up with the last 5 years, that was our way forward to do that. Remember, we capitalized on Black Lives Matter, and we had a gay Eminem, and we had not the rapper, even though he may be the real gay Eminem, but like the gay Eminem chocolate as well. But all that, right? Like all these things. And now we don't have them. What does that say to you as a marketing executive that doesn't know anything about wrestling?
Oh, they've just realized where the numbers drop and cut it. What's adding to the product here?
We made our money off of it. We didn't really give a fuck about your LGBTQ, your DEI, your green score. It was a way for us to remarket, repackage, and rebrand. Now, MAGA, grab him by the pussy is back, but we've got all these DEI hires that don't want to do that. Oh, the DEI hires are gone. Guess what's coming back? Tim Allen's getting a new sitcom with I Don't Think So, Tim, and that's all coming back. Oh, it's going to be 1990 to 93 again after a conservative era, and that pendulum is, or a liberal era, and that pendulum swinging back. I wonder which way we're going to go next with everything, bro. They're going to go where the money is, where everything is going to be earmarked to go do in a complete cultural shift. And once that gets done, they'll swing it back the other way again, bro. These companies don't give a shit about your liberal or conservative causes. They look at where the pendulum is, they point the cart in that direction, and everything is operant conditioning to get people to buy Oreos, the LGBTQ Pride Month, get double chocolate Oreos in February and celebrate Black Pride, whatever it is. They don't care. This is what marketing is. It's supposed to be a social experiment that gets people to buy product through programming. Television. These are spellcraft words that we just say TV and television is in your head. Tell a vision. My vision is on MSNBC. My vision is on Fox News. My vision is on InfoWars. So whatever tribe you're part of, you are going to be programmed into that, and they will market to you accordingly. What is marketing? Bring it to market. How do we wrap this same old piece of shit in new packaging and get everybody excited about it? We put some fucking blue dye in Mountain Dew. Baja blast me, pal. Like, whatever the fuck it is. So it's not about the match or this movie or what have you. The social movements that these companies act like they are founded on, they made their money on, and then it turned on them. And now, once you lose 97.5% of your sales in one quarter, are you going to continue down that road of Jaguars are for everyone who's a Hamptons, whatever, like, no, dude, they're going to fucking turn. And then what will Jaguar probably make to try and get back into the market? If we're going from extreme left, an electric car for something in the middle, or the Jaguar, what do right wingers buy?
Oh, you're going with the big old SUV sort of gas guzzling.
Jaguar SUV is coming, my guy, for a status symbol, and it'll be the new G-Wagon. These are the exact conversations that are going on in these fucking things right now. We went from the paint job changes every color of the gay flag rainbow and the Jag with a touch of a button to nobody bought those. Now we've got a fucking whole lot full of them that are just sitting there going to waste, and we need to get our people back when we need rich white conservatives. MAGA, make Jaguar great again.
So when did America go out of style? When did we stop selling that?
I think we're selling it pretty hard right now.
Well, they didn't. There was a 30-second voiceover and some LED flags on the show.
So why aren't they? Because it's a time of, and
last week they spent 3 hours telling me how.
That's a good point. We're in a transition period to that right wing spring. We're not there yet. They can't just leave that whole demographic in the dust. They're slowly like creeping back away from them while they get more extreme and like with their fucking hair on fire, whether it's no kings or whatever, right? Like, name your shit of the week, whether it's free Palestine, Iran, Ukraine, whatever is going to change their Facebook profile picture with another dumbass flag on it. That's programming. That's operant conditioning. This shit has been tried, true, and studied, from MK Ultra to Nazi eugenicists to fucking CBS executives in the 50s. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but dude, people keep falling for it every single day. More and more and more, bro. Because now it's an algorithm. Now it's tailor-made to you. Now these pieces of media are directly being fed into you, as opposed for you to have to go out and look for them. They're all right here at your disposal to reinforce those thoughts that are in your head. But can people detach from them? No. So with the USA thing, it will get to that. Well, I don't know if it will, because it's easier to sell to people through fear and loathing. So the left now has fear and loathing. So any product that you tempt them with equality messages and we're still with you and going for that dollar, then you'll be able, and you provide them with a little comfort feeling with it, that we talked about Ravens joint with the 5 different hits of dopamine. What can you provide them with a comfort level to calm their fear and help keep them loathing the other side? The right, that's already done. They don't fear the left. They loathe them for all the trans push, for all that shit that went down, where they got it in universities and high school kids can't say anything because they're brainwashing them while their daughters lose to a kid who was a dude last year. Like, doctors doing gender affirmation surgeries, like, all these things are so minimal, less than 1% of our population, but it's the main conversation on MSNBC and Fox News. Two separate camps loathing each other, and it's easier to sell to them. Do you think Fox News and MSNBC really cares? No. What do they care about? Selling advertising time.
Agreed.
And we continue on this journey of fucking absolute lunacy where we have no control of our emotions. We need to practice stoicism. We need to see exactly what they're doing with propaganda it's so easy to deconstruct now. If you live through fucking Iraq and fucking Iran and Afghanistan, I don't understand how you can't see this shit clearly all the time, and people keep selling for it.
No. Right now they got me. Hey, we're just 3 days past it, man. My boy throwing down 70 and a half hot dogs. My heart and my blood is still plumping, full of red, white, and blue pride, man. I'm on it. While we're talking about marketing, while we're talking about trendy things, agendas, objectives being pushed. Good. I
thought you were just going to cross over into Nash and Triple H.
Oh no!
Because we were talking America. Sorry, can you just table that?
Nash, I can table. Let's go to Nash. Who was kind of? I guess that's where you want to go here. His over on the Twix, kind of just dismissing the whole 4th of July.
yeah, he's not celebrating it because we don't live in a free country, and you know. And then Triple H catches heat because he didn't do anything for Black History Month or LGBTQ,
they do. I mean,
or no, Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, they haven't been acknowledging anything here. So you know what?
Yeah.
And so if they're not going to do one, they're not doing all of them.
No, but he's also taking heat. He's a racist, or he keeps black people down, and whatever. That sparked Kofi Mania. But here's two guys in the fucking Klizik. One's putting over July 4th and takes heat for it. The other guy fucking says fuck July 4th and takes heat for it.
Oh, Nash was going, hey, boy, is your cracker ass worried about getting deported? No, I mean, he was going back at the fans on some of this. I didn't get to see all
Nash
of them. I kind of just peppered through it.
One of the biggest fucking guys who was the biggest throat cutter in the world is selling for marks on Twitter. That's a problem. And I'm going to myself, do either of these guys really give a fuck? Because you know what? They're at the top of the wrestling mafia, dude. And they, much like those marketing execs, with Nash selling, it was weird to me. Triple H didn't sell for shit as he's taking all this heat, right? Because behind the scenes they're going, who gives a fuck, Briz? We're still the guys at the top.
Counting the money. They're probably the five guys that know it, right? That he's met.
Definitely are two of the five in their mind. Three, it was Sean. Who pays Kevin Nash?
I mean, what he's on that Legends deal, correct? So he's getting still from.
That's not where
but he's getting like his podcast stuff, things like that. I'm not.
That's not where he makes his money. Who pays Kevin Nash? What does he do? What would he say his job is now?
Kevin Nash's job now?
Yeah,
he's just
he's an actor in Hollywood.
Oh, I mean, I haven't seen him in it. I mean, I think what he's supposed to be relevant right now is his podcasting, and
since he stopped wrestling, what's been his job? Movies,
acting,
TV. Yeah.
That
does he want to keep doing that? Yes.
So
what is Kevin
do there?
So
you chill and bow down on your knees to the agendas of Hollywood.
And he might believe it, though, as well, to some degree, because he's surrounded himself with those people. And if that's your tribe, you are programmed to toe that line. Otherwise, if you fucking still go, I'm in the clique, too sweet me, and fucking we're working all these marks, and I don't give a shit about the Briz, like, and say that. Now what are you doing? So him, I think maybe he is TDS and has, a little bit of brain rot from how he may feel and the people that he has to work with that might sign him on a $5 million movie deal. Would you come out and I would have just stayed small and shut the fuck up and shut up.
That would have been my question is, what do you gain from it?
But his behavior echoes those on the left that are doing that. And that's where I'm like, at the end of the day, we can put Big Sexy up here. He's still a human being. And the guy's been through a lot, though. I think since the loss of his son, who knows where he is, you know what I mean? Personally, he's kayfabed a lot of that. And I can understand trying to bury that, but it's going to rear its ugly head some way, one way or another, man. He's been, he's just a man. He's a man. No, he's fucking 7 foot and a grade A athlete and everything else he's been in wrestling. But at the end of the day, we're all just actors playing characters. And the people behind those characters are still fallible human beings. So we can judge them in one way or the other. But to me, those guys being the supreme workers of all time, the greatest throat cutters in the history of the business. And then I see him going off like that. I go, that's a work to fucking make sure. Oh, did you see Kevin go against 4th of July? He's so brave. You know what? I want him in my next Guardians of the Galaxy. He's going to face Batista. Batista's going to wear a dress and his grandmother's pearls, and we'll have Nash on estrogen again. Like, dude, in The Longest Yard, what did Kevin Nash's character do?
Oh, he was all the estrogen shot. Hey, I do want to give him credit, man. He popped me in that, man. That was good.
Yes, but what is the underlying message? To go from testosterone to estrogen. And isn't that Hollywood's little, we're gonna take the biggest fucking
Like
guy
the
and turn
biggest
him into
baddest
the
dude and
clearest.
turn him into the most feminine. Yep.
It's funny in the moment, but do you see the underlying of what is actually going on? And now here we are again. Hey, it's interesting to me. I just watch and observe, and people's behaviors are, a great case study, into who is this person versus what is the persona. And then maybe even that's a layer of worker shill because the wrestling mafia rules supreme over everything. Once you're in, you ain't getting out.
Oh, we are talking about, modern agendas, marketing, targets, directions. Ben, thoughts on the Evolution pay-per-view coming up? If they pitched this thing right? Is it being lackluster? Is it set to fail? I know there's a lot of internal worries that they haven't done anything to set these ladies up for success. So if it falls short again, they can just kind of blame it on the talents themselves. Also like to point out WWE, a lot of people inside the wrestling bubble were looking at, AEW's big week starting Wednesday to Saturday with All In, the big stadium show, WWE taking the whole weekend. WWE running Atlanta. This is their bigger competition. Beyonce is running the big Mercedes-Benz Stadium the same weekend in Atlanta as WWE. She's got the entire weekend as well.
That's interesting. I mean, there's enough, I think, hardcore wrestling fans. Sure, there's going to be some crossover with Beyonce, I guess, maybe for your entertainment dollar, but that's probably a pretty heavy women crowd. I mean, not heavy women, but maybe heavy women. Heavily.
All the heavy ladies.
Yeah, so there might be some, but I don't think it's going to impact them too much, and especially that gives the men at home, well, she's going to Beyonce, we're going to wrestling, boys, like the excuse to get out. So I'm just glad people are hopefully out having a safe summer night.
Is that the audience? The bunch of guys like, let's go to the ladies wrestling show. I mean,
oh, well, maybe. Yeah. Right. And then they'll go to the strip club later and spend the rest of the money. As far as the women go, should they have their own pay-per-view? It's going to suck. I don't have a problem with an all-girl show. 2CW ran. We did great things with them. It's a select side show, and it's fine for those who enjoy women's wrestling. Don't expect it to draw crazy numbers, and don't set your expectations way high, and just put on the best show. And let them.
What's a fair comparison for them?
I would say don't have any. Don't have any. Okay.
Don't set yourself up for failure. Just enjoy what you're bringing.
Exactly. And everyone goes out and tries to do the best in their segment and steal the show. Now, that doesn't mean having the best match. That's the best segment that might get you on TV and have your business kick off from there. Are they planning that stuff in? Or are we just going to have girls can wrestle as good as boys and watch us all go pull 20 minutes? That's a mistake. I don't know any storyline aside from maybe Bird Girl, Lyra Velcro, and Bailey kind of having some grudge match.
But that match is at Saturday night's main event.
Okay, and then Rhea versus
Rhea versus Io.
Damage Control. Yeah, Io. And that, they've really cooled off Rhea just to keep doing the mommy's on top. Really, is that all Rhea is? She likes to ride cock? Is like that?
Well,
that's what that's all I'm supposed to care about her, bro.
Jimmy, that she used to come out and was intimidating, was an ass kicker. I mean, kind of scared you. She stood out from it, and now she comes out and it's all sexualized, her entrance to the ring.
Yeah.
So she's become one of the others,
Exactly. So in this pay-per-view is supposed to be out. The women are taking in wrestling respect to another level. Mommy's on top. Okay, in the same show, they're so backhanded. So that's inside the wrestling bubble and just thinking you're over and we can do whatever. And that to me looks like it's going to be a get your shit in, dive every match show, and nobody's going to be worrying about anything. Somebody like Chelsea Green will probably stand out because she'll be one of the few that focuses on character. But even then, it kind of makes me upset because she's got the secret Hervis, but she's not the U.S. champion. Why the fuck did we take the belt off her?
How great would that have been on the 4th of July SmackDown?
4th of July. Exactly. It's maddening that she didn't get the belt back right there on 4th of July. And then we have because we don't want to go into the Trump thing, even though Linda's on Trump's thing, we don't want to go in. Like, they're so dipped their toe in, and then like, we can't do a presidential thing. Oh, but we're going to do all the things around it, but we're not going to do the thing. It's just like, please make a fucking solid choice when you have a brilliant comedic actress right here, and all she needs is to have the belt and have her own Oval Office set, and then we give her 3 minutes to improvise based on loose bullet points in an Oval Office State of the Union every other week. Chelsea's going to do something until the heat builds, and then she has to actually have a payoff after she gets through the Hervis, after people try and take her out, after she tries to tariff somebody or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Has their bags, has the locker room made into, you have to get security clearance to get in there.
Like a TSA thing or something like that.
Yeah, we've done all that. We've talked all of this. Matt Cardona being the minister of sexy or whatever it is, bro. And we're doing none of it. We're not even getting close to it.
I'll never forget our Abraham Lincoln kind of game.
Abraham Lincoln, phenomenal. And you want to see, like, everything we laid out there is minimal effort, minimal cost for show stealing moments that make a storyline and make a great character. She's there ready to do it. Somebody, for the love of Christ, show them Laurel Van Ness and what this girl is capable of in creating real characters and committing to the bit. We've got the bit and we don't even commit 20%, which gives me agita because it flashes me right back to allegedly being a consultant, seeing stuff that we wrote get on TV at about a 20% level effort of the 100%. If they did it, it wouldn't take more money and more real big effort. It's just like, oh, we get the idea. Okay, we'll do it. We'll mail it in and it looks like shit and it looks comedic and not as cool as it could look. We make movies, pal. Do you really, bro? Because everything seems to me like it's a lumped in effort of last minute, probably because somebody was more worried about getting NDA signed so they could go do God knows what up in the office with Ace, instead of truly writing a show that wouldn't get ripped up at 4 p.m. before we go live at 9. And that's what we've been seeing for the last 25 years, bro. Instead of, you get all the way there. Don't you want to perform at your highest level? Don't you want to write at your highest level? Don't you want to make the greatest TV show you possibly can? But no, we get there and we go, I should have been here the whole time. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll get it done. Whatever. Like, it just is. What is this show that's going to be the behind the scenes look really show, bro? Because I don't see any creative where it's mind bending of like, and then we lay out these cards and here's the structure and here's how we do the callback and bring it to here. And this character is going to go 8 weeks this way. And here's who we got. Is that going down? Are we going to get to see the X's and O's play calling? Because what I'm seeing on the show doesn't look like there's any playbook where anybody knows format. You're booking 5 tag matches on one fucking show. You got to be fired.
Anybody has to be able to step in and be like, wait a minute, we're doing too much here. I haven't really been too, I don't know, enthusiastic, driven about this new unwritten, unscripted, whatever the show is. Because I have a feeling it's just going to reinforce everything, that you've been teaching us, that we've been hearing from Vet, from Stevie, and so on, that the people that are doing this creative, I think it's just going to expose them that they don't really fully understand the process.
That the writers don't fully understand the process. Yeah. I don't know. I just can't believe that, bro. Like, any writer who considers themselves that has to have some pride in their work. I think it's wrestling politics.
Okay, so are we going to see that, how it falls apart?
No, they won't show that. They won't, because that would make them look bad. They're gonna pat themselves on the back, edit it to make it look like team came together to get this done, and it wasn't cool to see people out of character and we're here and they're looking at the clipboard. I want you to do this. Name me one scene that is stuck out in WWE. Things we could have done with El Americano on his journey to becoming that. he went into some back alley and it didn't even look like a fucking Latino dude. It looked like Mr. Miyagi gave him a fucking box with a mask in it. That was the origin story, as opposed to going, training, doing all of these things, bro. Like, and becoming that. And then turn around and it's not like you think you're going to see his face and you don't. And it's the birth of El Americano. That should have been 3-4 weeks of quality pre-tapes that were done to introduce that character. And we didn't get any. They just think because they're over and they put it out there at like week 6 of what it should be, or they introduce NXT talents. And then 3 months later, we get the vignettes of who they are. After we're supposed to be, how is a Trick Williams supposed to get over? How, like, there is no way if you're not going to fucking do those types of things or come up with a way for Trick Williams to win where he pulls a trick every time or he beats you 3 times in a row for a hat trick. And that's why it's fucking whatever it is. Or instead they'll be like, hey, is this your card? Hey, I'm Trick Williams. Thanks. Have a good night. Like, there's no way for Big Purse to get over. None of them. Bro,
bring him out the Godfather and just
Lash Legends in the fucking yeah. There you go. Points. Lash Legends in the crowd. Then she's never to be heard from again. It's just like, what happened to the old days of, hey, Chico, and fucking and fucking you've got him in Little Cuba and he's sipping fucking coffee and the car's there and Razor Ramon is coming to WWE, man.
I love those vignettes.
And then next
or
week,
or the Mr. Perfect vignettes with the other pro athletes.
Like all that, like that is the stuff to protect and create characters and introduce them. Them coming out and tagging with the Miz is not gonna fucking make it happen, my guy. And that's the false positive of Shawn Michaels was in our Instagram video trying to figure out which girl's voice it was, as opposed to where is the fucking, if you want to show me something, show me promo class every week. Show me the characters they're working on. How does Tiffy time evolve from a Barbie come to life to whatever we're going to? And where are we going? Because she has no clue.
It hasn't evolved.
None.
It's the same characters when they debuted her in NXT.
But it's not, because that was a heel and we're supposed, yes. So it's as fucking deaf and dumb as possibly can be. So maybe the writers don't know, but I think you can write till you're blue in the face. It comes down to whatever Triple H wants to do. I don't see, because if their writing truly is that low level and that bad, without any structure, without any callback, without any elevation, heightening, and exploring, then I got a problem. But then I see a scene like AJ and Dominic, almost a perfect yes and improv comedy scene, not forced. I go, that was fucking good. Then 5 minutes later, I have the stupidest scene I've ever watched with the clubhouse of Judgment Day, and they're taking votes and playing video games, and I'm just like, this is fucking awful, bro. Like Finn's like grinning in the camera. Hey. Like, remember when you were supposed to be goth murderer priests from Edge, and now you're
I do have to admit though that when he does that shit eating grin, it does pop me. Because I mean, it's like it's in a bad way. It's so bad I laugh at it.
And furthermore, that stupid fucking comic book thing he played, Spawn or whatever, could never get over to get him to where he needed to be, and he dropped that too. So all these dumb fucking comic book things that these kids who are nerds for that are now wrestlers want to get over, like, congratulations. Now you can do a fucking ton of gas and show that you got 12-pack abs. Still don't know shit about your character. I'm not connecting. When I see you have 12-pack abs, I'm not going, I want to be like Finn. I'm going, I'm a fat fuck and I feel terrible about myself. But he grins and I'm supposed to like him. Like, it's so bipolar. It's so fucking autistic in a lot of ways, bro.
Well, here we are. But we've got a little time here. Coming up, we were talking about the big weekend coming up here. What are the head
comic book stuff sucks. And none of it is good, dude.
We spent a lot of time looking back, breaking down, critiquing, helping out, giving points in reviews Let's go forward. Let's play fast forward, Ben. Lay out Goldberg, Gunther, how that should play out. Is this a hot topic coming up this Saturday night?
We missed the point of what we should have been for the Heat, which is getting Goldberg's kid into NXT. And they're playing this behind the scenes thing of like Goldberg keeps his foot in the door so his kid can. When we had that inciting incident and they referenced that on commentary, there should be a follow-up to that with Gunther. And Gunther should call that out directly, being like, the only reason you're here is because you want to get your kid into NXT. Well, you wanted your kid to get in the ring. Right now he's going to get in the ring, beal him over the fucking thing, beat the fuck out of the kid again. After taking Goldberg out to some degree, he's got to watch his kid be beaten. Goldberg comes into this match as a father who's beyond his prime and is going to do it for his kid. And even though he's hurt because Gunther took him out with, his backup guy could come back, Kaiser, and they could jump him that way. And Kaiser's holding Goldberg down to fucking make him watch his kid get choked out by Gunther. Now the kid's in the corner, Kaiser's in the corner. We can have some schmaz shit that way. Keep it simple on Goldberg. You get him down, headlock the shit out of him, try and just keep choking him, and then give him one come up, come back, Hogan style, and then fucking we do hook the leg, drill him, choke him out in front of the kid. Leave him laying. Like, the referee can't pull him off, can't pull you off or anything, and you're really choking out a legend doing damage, and now he's holding the kid, and the kid's got to watch his dad, what have you, you know what I mean? And you leave them both laying there. Or the kid runs in, is like, dad, afterwards. And then now it's the kid's mission to fucking go to NXT, to train, to get good enough, go up the mountain to get to Gunther in 5 years, 3 years, whatever, and pay off what you did to my father. I'm Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. But you're not going to go in and be able to fucking kill and slay the dragon that smoked your dad, who was a top guy, if you're a rookie. This should have been the way to open the door for Goldberg's kid. Instead, we just play politics to go, well, Goldberg's going to have a match and his kid will be around and we'll talk later about getting your kid a nil contract and da-da-da. That's the way it'll be done, instead of putting that in the focus. The reality is the focus, that you want to get your kid a fucking contract, and it's nepotism. He should be calling all that shit out. That should be the foundation of where we are. Instead, we're just going to have what? Goldberg do a match against, we're going to have a fucking Israeli guy versus a German guy and not play into any of that while it's going on. So now it's just like, can Goldberg possibly pull 3 minutes with Gunther? Yeah. Okay. No heat, no emotion, no place to go, no heighten and explore. And that is lazy fucking writing. And that could have been because TKO goes, we don't have any stars on this show. Nobody gives a shit about JD McDonough versus fucking Axiom. Like that's not doing anything. We need old school stars. Get Goldberg in for one. The Rock, we need you in Cody's storyline, but then fuck it, we'll do nothing with you.
If just show up for a night, we'll worry about it later.
Yeah, dude. There's these phone calls. I heard that Chavo's getting re-signed, and they might be bringing back Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, she's rumored to be for the Evolution pay-per-view. But they haven't announced
possibly
that yet.
Go wrong? Didn't they fucking have a huge family blowout where the daughter was burying him, and then Chavo backed her daughter, and now we're putting them in the same locker room again with each other? We got Nikki Bella and John Cena back to on the same shit. Like, there's just things that are going.
Charlotte and Andrade on the SmackDown parade. Who
would want that in their locker room, dog? I sure as shit wouldn't. That leads to all kinds of bullshit. And he said, she said, even then,
is it that the sicko wrestling culture though? You want that insanity so that you can control and manipulate these people, and you want that chaos. I mean, it makes no sense. But if
at the end of the show it says executive producer Ben Hameen, I better if I'm putting my stamp on it. Those are the last things I want to deal with. The show. Quality, highest level, respect to wrestling history, references, guest spots at the right time. Instead, this whole thing is now nothing more than a giant commercial for Slim Jim, Wheatley vodka, and Netflix comedy specials. That's all this show is. There is no respect to wrestling. And as the numbers dwindle,
I was going to say that's why no one's watching.
The big dogs call in and go, get us some superstars on this show. These NXT kids can't pull it. Yeah, no shit. Lyra Valkyrie and fucking Bailey can't hold the audience. I am shocked.
Ding dong.
I was waiting on it. Just waiting for the Bailey hit there. Ben, anything else you want to hit on this week?
Oh, exhausted. I was so positive on Wreckage.
Yes. I brought you down a notch.
It's all good, man. No, I mean, there's so much tomorrow that I'm sure we'll get to.
I was going to say, if you're down, if you're hot on it again this quick, just wait till you get to sit down with Stevie and Mr. Russo to actually deep dive into WWE this past week.
I think I'm looking not forward to, but to talk about obviously the tragedies in Texas and HARP and weather control and conspiracies, and Epstein obviously was a good guy is what I'm hearing. So, a very
anyone that has their own island can't be evil.
Yeah, but whatever MAGA was supposed to be just kind of killed all their cred and went to NWO Red and Black. The fact that you're saying day one Epstein list can be released, and now Kash Patel looks like the fucking dude on Parks and Rec, at this point, like might as well have DJ Roomba in the fucking Congress at this point. And all of them when your district attorney says, we have over 10,000 hours of Epstein Island video footage. No, we don't. Oh, okay. I guess we don't. So all their credibility is gone.
Taped over it with WrestleMania 8.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry about that.
So we'll talk about those things, I'm sure, on Master Shoot Theater. And it's been quite a podcasting day today, man. I'm just, again, so proud of my brother's journey to see the Outrunners to get to that point after 20 years. I know when you get late on in your career and it still hasn't happened how you wanted it to, for them it really is happening how they dreamed it to be, and I'm glad for that. But you're ready to hang them up. Your body hurts. You put all this time in. You've made enough to survive through mark jobs and careers, and you're still chasing your dream on the weekends, and you're getting to make moments, but that can only last for so long as your shoulder and your back and your legs are just beat. And then that finally broke the ice for these guys, and even when the Young Bucks wanted to put them over and that got changed, like that shows that even the Bucks recognize and realize what these guys have. And I know maybe around 2020, they were ready to hang them up, and they came back and now they shined in a way that will preserve their legacy forever. So, like I said, I can't say enough of how proud I am of them and everybody that took bumps together along the way. I can think of plenty of Shiloh feuds. I mean, Von Lilas and APOC, Rick Victor, were his muscle. He was the fucking little ringleader, and they come out and whip everybody's ass. So, that's a great connection that we all share. And I know when we see him shining bright, or anybody, even with Ravens joint, people reach out to me and say they're so happy and that I have this opportunity, and I just know that they're sharing love. It's not out of jealousy or wish that was me. I mean, maybe there's some guys out there, I feel bad for them if they are like thinking like that, because I feel like I'm in there winning while they're in there getting that moment. You know what I mean? So that's all good stuff to me, man. That's what this art form should be. And it's tough to stomach it when it's done so poorly and people Horwitz themselves because, I'm on TV. That don't mean shit to me, bro. Even on K100, they're, putting me over. I know Conan and Disco enjoy my takes, even if sometimes we don't agree, but there's just some hardcore fans. The Disco even said that are DMing them So I tweeted, I go about that I don't have the resume to back up my opinions. And that makes me laugh like a ton, bro. But you know, I was like, Disco, could you reread my resume so I can, you know, make sure the fans
You need that validation from those fans.
validate me. Yeah. So it's just crazy of what fans think they know and they have no idea. You know, is this my 35th year in performance, you know, professionally. So they can feel whatever way they want to. And I'm here to, as a performer, to invoke emotions and get reactions. And apparently they just don't think I'm it. And that makes me laugh. But I'd like to see the list of WWE legends that told them they did a great job, and you know, and I'll be glad to compare resumes with any of them. Like they think that those attacks, you know, get to me, but I kind of love them. To be honest,
use it as
I
fuel, man.
love
It's
them.
just-
Yeah, but I don't use them as hate, fuel, and anger. I just am like, for them to even get mentioned, or to have anybody mention your name, that's a legend like Disco and Conan, man. Like the fact they're talking about me on their show should be proof positive enough that my peers who are legends respect my opinions to some degree, you know. And if you know, I get he's a Russo dick sucker and fucking and all this kind of shit, bro. You know, not I me my, but I'm the one who bird dogs the deals to find people to get us. Of course, Russo's name is gonna carry us through the door. You know what I mean? But they act like I'm just a fucking kick along guy that doesn't do.
you're just carrying the bags, baby. You're just carrying the bags.
And I gladly would, bro, because it's chop wood, carry water, and I'm fine to be humbled because I don't want to take myself too seriously like these people in Stanford who fucking think they're the end all be all, and their writing is really at a second grade level when I look at it as a former college professor, media artist with a bachelor's degree in marketing. But y'all, man, good time talking with my man R to the B to the V, especially about my boys when they do a good job. But you never know, maybe I'll be back on K100 soon, and we'll just go do some resume review and rewriting, and then hopefully I can send that to Stanford through LinkedIn, and then they'll fucking give me a call back because I really need the job super bad.
Well, just go there and work for a little bit, intern, do it for free, just so that
intern. Don't pay me to start with. Let me prove myself.
You just need the credentials at this point. Okay, let's not get too far ahead of yourself. But hey, even I, as much as I put myself over there, even I learned today, and that's what the Monday Locker Room's all about. But I do make myself feel better. I do want to Barry Horowitz myself.
Do it.
The Outrunners were talking about hanging it up in 2020. Well, coming back in 2021 when wrestling reopened, it was me, the RBV, who was booking the Outrunners.
Yeah,
I was ahead of the trend.
Absolutely. Not just booking Outrunners, but booking Hamid.
And Hamid, yes.
Now
brought them all together. Although I will forever kick myself in the ass. I had it all right there in front of me, and I did not book the Towers of Terror versus the Outrunners. It was a huge missed opportunity.
It would have been probably a little better, but I know you were hot on your guy Amos and champ, and you know, and hey, man, doesn't mean it couldn't happen down the road if things were still going. But that was a great time, and to get to see those guys right when they were really kind of coming into their own. And I've been trying to support them ever since, and I'll continue to do so, bro, because they've got what it takes to be bigger than any wrestling star. And I'll talk to you about it off air once we hit stop. But
I will tell everyone this one too. I still remember that evening. That was the first time that Ben and Beast and I had been together. A successful show. It was a hot one. So we're trying to cool off later that night. Had a few top shelf whiskeys. The redneck hooligan bar we were in. The ladies were loving the mullet on Beast. But about 3:30 in the morning, after partaking in some pre-Ravens joint stuff, yeah, right. One of my favorite photos there. Ben and Beast trying to execute the ultimate rib on me, trying to get me to crank call Jim Cornette at 3:30 in the morning. I didn't bite. I did not bite on it. I was like, there's no way in hell I am doing this. You guys are
might
crazy.
have invited you over. Might you over for chair work. Yeah,
we weren't that far away, buddy. The hot tub's fired up, ready to go.
We were not, man, but a great time, and I'm always thankful for those moments when I get to reconnect with guys that I started with, for sure. I'd like to get down to Chicago and see some comedy friends too, because all the politics and stuff has kind of driven a wedge, and I don't want any of that bullshit outside conditioning to affect me, but really affect relationships as well. So, but y'all, you guys were here for the whole thing today because you were.
I am ready.
I know you were ready for all that Monday locker room talk, man, and inside locker room. How about you? Hey, how about you? Ho? But definitely watch that Outrunners match. I love the triple threat opener on Collision too, and definitely watch Wreckage, man. It was a great time with Jimmy T and the Vet, catching up and being able to talk positive, because I don't always want to be critical or seem angry. I'm just a fucking passionate New York motherfucker, and that's how we communicate. So, but yeah, you guys keep it locked here, Hameen Media Group, and be in the chat. Wayman will see you. Probably have a thread up tonight for the Raw talk, so feel free to hang with there and get
watch along as well right here on the channel.
Along. Absolutely with Let's Go Brandon and everybody else doing their thing, man, being part of the tribe, part of the community, the most hardcore wrestling fans, most educated and inside knowledgeable ones here. Hameen Media Group Infidels. Y'all. Goddamn right we